Rise for a silent reflection and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Jeff.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Here.
Mr. Diver? Mrs. King?
Here.
Mr. McLean?
Here.
Mr. Schuler?
Here.
Mr. Vorbach?
Here.
Mayor Mechanical?
Here. Pursuant to requirements of the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice posted on the Borough website and in the municipal building and published as a legal notice in the Co-Star newspaper. Need a motion to approve the agenda and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I think
we have to amend it to include the curfew, right?
That's correct. We have distributed the blue resolution, which does establish the Halloween era curfew.
So whoever made the motion and second, if you would revise your motion to make it a revised agenda, that would be
I will
appropriate.
do that.
And I'm okay with it too.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mr. Diver? I'm sorry. Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. No presentations at this time. No public hearings at this time. We move right to the first voice of the public on agenda items only. Need a motion to open first voice of the public?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If you have anything you'd like to speak on, just step forward, give your name and address.
Make a motion to close the first voice of the public.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Councilwoman King.
I don't have anything.
Councilwoman Cynthia.
No, I don't.
Councilman McLean.
No, I don't.
Nothing for me.
And Councilman Schuler.
Nothing.
Thank you. As far as reports, notice, and correspondence, we have the court report, the police department report, and the taxation, New Jersey Division of Taxation certification of equalized valuations. No new business at this time. I'm sorry, resolutions. Resolutions are 2012-167 authorizing tax refunds.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Any refunds? Roll call, Jay.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Resolution R 2012-168, Community Block Grant Representative. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Okay, Resolution R 2012-171, establishing a curfew for October 29th, 30th, and 31st,
I'll make that motion.
2012.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Thank you. I need a motion to move bills to Finance Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Resolution R 2012-169, approving payment claims on October 17, 2012 bill list. Motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, Jay.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes.
Consent resolution R 2012-170, raffles, and I believe Brownie Troop number 748 requests the use of the community center. Need a motion and a
I'll
second.
make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions? Roll call, Jay.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Yes. Thank you.
Second voice of the public. You may speak on anything you like at this time. Yes. State your name and address, please.
Larry Fenton, 905 Lake Avenue. Just a couple of items. Just about a year ago, we got a little surprise around this time. Particular parts of the state got about 16 inches of snow. So it brought to mind a discussion we had a month or two ago, and I believe we're going to look into, we're talking about an emergency shelter at the school and a generator, and we need to talk to the Board of Education. Wondered if there was any update to that.
I know there had been a meeting with the Board of Education. I was not part of
Yes,
that.
I was present there. Yes, we're both on the same page, the board, the superintendent. We discussed it. The big stumbling blocks, of course, is going to be the cost and all this. But he thinks it's a good idea. We should pursue it. We just have to get some prices and details.
Besides Spring Heights, it seems like it's a logical solution for most of the towns around here. That the only logical building in most of the towns are the grammar schools that everyone has. And I think we would encourage other towns to participate also. Do it on their own, and obviously hoping more for Spring Heights on that. The other thing, I know some of the ladies, particularly that brought up a meeting on the community center, that there's a emergency or a handicap access that you can get in from the outside. However, it has to be unlocked. And there's a discussion, there's a confusion about the availability of the key to unlock that so they can be used. I know there's a lot of folks that come in there, and some of them are quite senior and would like to be able to use that access.
And the people who are in there, I believe that door is open, can be open from the outside.
Well, as far as I'm understanding, there's a lock for the door,
Yes.
but there's also a separate lock for that handicapped
Yes.
one that has to be unlocked. And I think that key has been unavailable, so that was the question.
I'll check into it. I'm not positive on that one.
Okay,
Yeah, I think there is a different key.
A different key in that, different parts about availability.
And the key that they give out is just a key for the front door, and it's not the key.
Obviously, it needs to be part of the procedure when they leave to lock everything, including
Right.
that access part, the availability of that. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Seeing no hands, need a motion to close voice of the public?
Make a motion to close the second voice of the public.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the minutes for July 9th, 2012 on the executive and July 9th, 2012 regular. Motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions on the minutes? Roll call, Jay.
Mrs. Cynthia?
Abstain?
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Mr. Vorbach?
Abstain.
Thank you. If no one has any other thing to add, I would like to adjourn. Motion
I'll make that motion.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is a shorter minute.